The Exterminator-class starship is a specific model of Dalek war saucer used during the 26th century and beyond. This class of vessel was introduced during the Second Dalek War to be used as flagships for Dalek fleets. The prototype and namesake of the class, the Exterminator, was the flagship of Inquisitor General Dalek X during the Archeon campaign. Crewed by up to 500 Daleks, Exterminator-class ships were among the most heavily armed and technologically advanced Dalek vessels of their era, sporting top-of-the-line particle beam weapons, powerful missiles, and energy shield repulsors. Powered by a neutronic reactor and propelled by 10 anti-gravity impeller engines, Exterminator-class ships presented a serious problem for human forces during the later Dalek Wars, as they could appear in an instant above populated worlds and deploy an invasion force before local defences even had time to react. Supplemented by 6 Outrider-class escort saucers, a standard Exterminator-class deployment had more than enough material and Dalek warriors to conquer a planet, and their status as command ships often meant that several concurrent invasions could be coordinated from a single ship of the class. The Exterminator-class was, put simply, more than just a fleet killer or even a planet killer. At the height of the Dalek Wars, these ships were solar system killers. The prototype Exterminator-class flagship became a beacon of terror for humanity and its allies in the latter phases of the Second Dalek War. From his flagship, Inquisitor General Dalek X managed strategies and battle plans for the entire war, and he planned to use the power of the Archeon threshold to weaponize time against humanity, rewriting human history for the Daleks' own purposes. However, the Doctor interfered and lured the Daleks to Harala, where he intended on detonating leftover astronic fuel silos that had been abandoned by colonists who had previously settled there. Dalek X discovered the Doctor's plan and brought the Exterminator to Harala, intending to hunt the Doctor down personally, in the hope of exterminating the Daleks' greatest enemy once and for all. However, Dalek X underestimated the Doctor and his allies, and was ambushed and severely damaged by 2 Dalek war bounty hunters. They attacked the vulnerable underside of his casing, disabling his flight capabilities, and the Inquisitor General took an entire round of ion bolter shots to his neck grill at point-blank range before Captain John Bowman pushed the burning, screaming remains of Dalek X into one of Harala's deep chasms. Taking advantage of the distraction, the Doctor was able to set the fuel silos to detonate before rescuing his friends and departing in the TARDIS. All Daleks on Harala were vaporized as the blast split the planet open. The Exterminator's shields were able to withstand the initial blast, a testament to the strength of Dalek technology even this early in their timeline. But the flagship could not withstand the cataclysm of the planet breaking apart, and its shields buckled, leaving the hull exposed to the intense heat and burning meteorites. A series of explosions rocked the ship, its engines failed, and it crashed on one of the large remaining chunks of Harala, before a second series of explosions utterly obliterated the ship. Its support fleet, which had been able to move to a safe distance away from the planet's destruction, were also destroyed when the Exterminator finally ignited, and the combined astronic-neutronic detonation could be seen from as far as 7 light-years away. Following the loss of their Inquisitor General and their prototype flagship, the Dalek fleet was thrown into disarray. Taking advantage of the chaos, Earth Command was able to punch a hole in the Dalek lines and secure several key victories in formerly human-occupied worlds that the Daleks had conquered. This eventually escalated until humanity and its allies were finally able to start pushing the Daleks back. Over time, these victories culminated in a final campaign to push Daleks out of human-controlled space entirely, and the Second Dalek War eventually fizzled out as humanity fortified their borders against a counterattack that never came. Ironically, the only Dalek to survive the loss of the Exterminator was Dalek X, who had fallen deep into the catacombs of the planet and, despite extensive damage to his casing, was able to cling to life. The Doctor actually visited Dalek X after the conclusion of the Second Dalek War, to inform the creature that he had been abandoned by the Dalek leadership, that the war he had fought in was over, and that the radioactive ruins of the planet had been quarantined for 5,000 years. Dalek X conveyed grim congratulations to the Doctor for his victory, but vowed that if the Doctor did not kill him, he would return and hunt the Doctor down. Whether or not Dalek X has managed to somehow escape from his 5,000-year imprisonment on a dead world remains to be seen, but what is known is that the Dalek War effort was considerably restructured following the Second Dalek War. While massive flagship saucers like the Exterminator did continue into full production, the Daleks learned to avoid over-centralizing their command, logistics and weapons resources into a single asset like the Exterminator. Instead, these responsibilities were delegated to different vessels across Dalek fleets. This tactic would later be faced with its own set of challenges during the Mavellan War, and following that conflict, the Daleks appeared to unlearn the lesson the loss of the Exterminator had taught them, as there were several later examples of the Daleks suffering catastrophic defeats due to the loss of their centralised flagship, including the Imperial Renegade Dalek Civil War, which ended with Davros's command ship being destroyed by the Hand of Omega, and the Siege of Trenzalore, which ended when the 11th Doctor's regeneration wiped out the Dalek Parliamentary flagship. Both instances led to the utter decapitation of the Dalek leadership, forcing the regime to completely restructure itself in the following era. Nonetheless, the impact of the Exterminator-class flagship on Dalek history should not be understated. Though it debuted during the Second Dalek War, and though ships of its type were deprioritised in the years that followed, it is undoubtable that the basic design of the Exterminator-class battleship was used as an inspiration for the designs of Dalek ships during the Time War, including the smaller and more nimble Aggressor-class saucers and the larger monolithic Dalek command ships that were seen many times during the war, all of which are comparable in scale and power to the Exterminator itself. What do you think of the Exterminator-class battleship? Are there any Dalek saucers that appear in the TV series that you think might belong to this class? If you were creating a Dalek fleet, what kinds of ships would you use for it? And do you think we'll ever see any more Dalek ships of different shapes and sizes in future Doctor Who stories? Share your ideas in the comments below.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to
Dalek Bumps.